Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I go by Lune Innate. I'm a master teacher, Reiki practitioner. If I have to label myself in any way, that's kind of my lead. I'm working out of New York City currently, but I am moving soon, so this is one of the last times you'll see me in this office, over the next month or so. But I'm very honored to be creating this little video for you. Whether you use it as a relaxation tool or a sleep aid, or if you're open to the concepts that I'm sharing about and the idea of energy work, from my perspective, this is a Reiki session or energy work session by proxy. Once in a while, I see some comments saying how, this isn't Reiki or whatever, and I just have to tell you guys who haven't experienced sessions before, from my practice anyway, a lot of the session is talking. A lot of the session is sharing ideas and working with things that we can tangibly bring into our lives, and not just the work on the table, not just, the energy itself. That's a piece of the puzzle. But if you don't have the proper tool or awareness or plan, even discipline to make changes in your own life, then as amazing as I believe Reiki energy to be, or the channeling of energy to be and all of that, it's not really going to do that much for you. It might make you feel really good in the short term, but it will kind of unravel and we'll fall back into the same pattern. So if you're confused about why I speak so much in the majority of my videos, it's because for me to be a proper healer, I need to provide at least my perspective or opinion on how we can best work with the topic, the intention, the challenge, or the quality we're looking to bring more into our life. So just to tell you guys that. All right, but without that moving on from that introduction, this session is about fortifying that connection to our inner voice, to our intuition, we could say. But I want to pair it with not just our intuition, also our heart. So while I do believe the intuition is tied to our more primal gut instinct, which I would relate to the sacral chakra, I'm working now today with the third eye, throat, and heart to create a higher realm of insight, of knowledge, as in innate knowledge that we can bring forth, and just a real sorry for all the connection with our inner voice. It's really what I'm trying to do here. All right, so I hope that you guys are into it, and we'll get started by lighting our candle. All right. With every session I do at home or with people, I always start with my candle. Let's get that out of there so it doesn't smoots on me. This is actually a candle from the Goddess Provisions box made by Lilac Willow. It's really wonderful. It has elements of like pine, I want to say. It's called Forest, and I love pine for the throat. Pine, herbs in general as well. I should mention before I forget, forgive me, but I've actually updated my shop and now I have some cool t-shirts if you guys are into that stuff. Right, so we're going to dedicate our candle. Okay. Oh, I didn't like that. I'll try again. Let's see if it's just... Wow. Maybe this isn't the candle. Oh, there we go. think it's just an interesting wick. Right? So let's check with our inner voice. Let's check with our inner voice. Is this the right candle? Let's use a pendulum. Okay? We'll talk about this a little bit, but is this the right candle? Yes. Was that just a weird wick kind of thing? Yes. Okay. And we'll talk about that. So, on behalf of your and my and everyone else's highest and greatest good and perfect comfort and alignment, I wish to provide a Reiki session by proxy today for you to assist with the rapport between the inner voice and the consciousness, the ability to discern from the inner voice, because we're going to talk about this a little, but the inner voice is not always right, guys. We have to think about this. We have to use logic paired with our empathetic nature, our sensitivities. It's not just one or the other. To heighten our intuition, to ground the intuition in such a way that we're bringing in a practical nature to it. If you'd like to set an intention for yourself, please do. If I've missed anything, or if there's anything you want to work on tied to the inner voice, the trust in yourself, your ability to discern, your ability to unify the hemispheres of the mind, the masculine and feminine energies within yourself, the receptive and dominant energies within yourself, to harmonize, again, what makes sense and the more etheric, intuitive kind of messages that we might get. I'm gonna light some incense. Excuse me. Where you at? Sorry. We have some cinnamon incense cones. This as an exchange, a little message to the universe, to the collective energy, that we're taking this seriously. And it is daytime right now, and I do hear somebody outside on their phone or something. I hope you can't hear it, but just forgive me. When I move, I'm going to set up a little mini studio, probably in my closet at first, to get that good soundproof kind of effect going on. But right now, just bear with me the next couple months, please. Alright, so I'm going to take this little cinnamon cone and just focus on cleansing the more higher channel that you have, that you are so divinely connected to. Bring it down. I want to really clear the heart and the throat areas, and I'm going to be working a lot there, as well as the third eye area. But I want to get this channel to be flowing within you, to be open. So that's what I'm focusing on first. focus on your palms and just blow a little of the smoke into your palms. Okay. Just going around. Okay, just want to clear these areas and make sure that they are untainted, clearing any fog or energetic debris or lingering assumptions or ties that are inhibiting the unification of logic and intuition. And then down to the heart. Because I believe the heart is where our real discernment lies. Or our ultimate truth, if I could put it that way. Just going by your jaw to focus towards your ear more. Okay, and then I'm just going to focus as well on the back of your head to assist with releasing any belief systems or beliefs or attachments, of course, that do not serve you. I wouldn't go in trying with any intention to take away something that fully supports you, of course. But what I mean is belief systems or thoughts you've attached to that are now in the back of your mind, that are now starting to form paths for you, or maybe already have formed paths for you that are not your truth. They might be of influence or have been created by more of an outside influence. So I'm just going to focus on the back of your head here. Okay. Awesome. I'm gonna start with the singing bowl actually, because I'd like to do the noisier part first. I should take off my rings. And I'm going to turn down the volume here. Okay. And first I'm just going to channel into this bowl to charge this metal with intention. This is a throat chakra themed singing bowl. Yeah. I had to write it on there because I have two that look very similar and I don't have perfect pitch. Alright. Focusing at the throat because of it being this bridge between the heart and the third eye. But just allow these waves to wash over you, to work with not only, of course, your throat, but the third eye and heart, to bring in logic, an analytical kind of tone, but again, not in an excessive way, of course. Visualizing these waves of sound to reach your throat and set off these beautiful little ripples. Okay. Scoop this back up. Right. So, it's worth bringing up the pendulum because I use it very much in my practice. Some people have weird feelings about pendulum, but it can be such a great way of connecting to the subconscious mind to bypass the conscious mind. As an example, very often in my practice, it's like 50-50. Sometimes I talk to someone, they totally know their energy so well and exactly what you would expect to find in their energy system shows up. And the other half of the time, we might feel like it's one area that we need to work on, when actually when we go in and check, there's another area that's out of alignment that's kind of blocking the other areas from fully reaching their higher points of potential. So a pendulum is great for that. I will say though that you should not use a pendulum to ask questions that you have attachments to the answer. You should not, this is my opinion, right? But you should not use a pendulum to confirm things that have anything to do with other people. It doesn't work that way. And you should not, again, use it for things that you think you already know, as in, oh, how does so-and-so feel about me? Or am I going to have fun on this trip? Or am I going to move somewhere? It's like, you know if you're going to move somewhere. Are you going to do it? Are you planning to move? That's how you'll know if you're going to move. A pendulum's not going to tell you that. But for the purpose of being guided by our intuition or inner voice, I have a little story for you. There was a time I was uploading a video similar to the candle from the beginning of this video, and it just wouldn't upload. It was having all kinds of problems, and I started to think, wait a minute, is something wrong with this video? Did I say something here that maybe shouldn't be shared, or I don't know, something like that? So I started dowsing personally with my fingers at the time because I was in the basement. And let me get my crystals. And I started asking, I should upload this video today, and I got a no. And I was like, I should delete this video. I should trash it. It's garbage. I got another no. And essentially, I kept asking questions until the answers ended up being, I should upload this video on Saturday. And I don't remember what day of the week it was, but I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to listen to that. I guess I'm going to trust. All right, doesn't really make a big difference, right? So I waited and uploaded it. And later that day, I got a very beautiful confirmation that I was meant to upload the video on that day, and I feel like it was kind of I don't want to say reward, but that validation was like a reward for listening to my inner voice, listening to and working through to discern what it was that would be best. So if you're going to use a pendulum, I recommend them more for what crystal should I use, helping to discern what a tarot reading might be trying to tell us, dreams, but not anything to do with other people, nothing to do with free will. So I brought out some stones to support our connection to our inner voice. This is a piece of apatite. It's kind of pentagon shape? Hexagon shape, sorry. It's a natural raw piece. And here is another piece of blue apatite that is polished and quite lovely looking. Aren't they cool together? And I thought that how lovely, like the heart and the logical, even geometric shaped throat with these apatite properties. When I say our inner voice is not always right, and what I mean by that is sometimes we make assumptions, sometimes we have attachments, sometimes we are projecting. And if that comes up for you, I would suggest tuning more into your body than your mind, if I can put it that way. Which is another reason the pendulum can be very supportive if you're using it the right way. You can't go and accuse someone of something just because your pendulum told you so. Like, that is not appropriate. So what I'm focused on with this little tapping is almost like reaching into your etheric form and just tapping again to clear that line, that connection from the third eye, the throat, and the heart. Every little crack, picture these little like choo 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 lightning bolts shooting out, for lack of a better way to transcribe the surreal. Okay. Then I have a little piece of lapis lazuli, a little raw piece, and a cute little azurite, little hut looking one, like a little house or something. And I've brought this out in other videos because it reminds me of the hermit, like a little house. I know it's a stretch for some, but okay. It's quite beautiful. Markings, very higher mind. I know we're not quite in Gemini season yet, but this video might be a bit of a preparation for it. Lapis, ancient, wisdom, guides. And when we're trying to make a decision, sometimes it's best for us to go within, and sometimes it's best for us to go without. We have to be able to discern that. Where will we find truth? A lot of times I think we find truth within, but we have to be brave enough to go deep to find that truth. And so this little hermit hut makes me think of that. And this with the starry looking pyrite makes me think of the sky and the universe and seeking externally in a sense. So I wanted to bring in those to harmonize. Right. Okay. And then I have this. This is a rainbow fluorite. You can see it's got all these layers. Here it's more yellow. Here it's more purple. Yellow is a color very much associated with intellect, the mind. So I love that this has it in here for our purpose today. Fluorite is all about, for me anyway, clarity, organization, making sense, order, truth, the ability to make decisions quite easily. I have this little druzy kind of amethyst clustery guy, gal, homie, that I want to use. I often use for combing and cleansing, but I want to focus very much on the eye, third eye, down to the throat, down to the heart for you. And I'm going to focus it on the stones itself because I think it looks prettier than the other way. Okay? So I'm focused to channel, to conduct, with the intention of cleansing, bridging, and harmonizing. Clearing the third eye, empowering these intuitive points, these intuitive connections, the dots lining up, making sense. Your interpretation of synchronicities, of emotional maturity, of fact versus feeling, and feeling with fact, of understanding your dreams, of finding your inner truth and expressing it and balancing it with a side of logic. We need both hemispheres to be active. If we lean too much into the feminine, if we lean too much into the intuitive and the ethereal, we become unbalanced. If we lean too much into logic and fact, we become unbalanced. The magic happens when these points are communicating together and they're massaging that lining of the brain which rests within the middle that I'm forgetting the name of right now. But this is where the pineal gland lies and the pituitary gland as well, along the center. And this is how we activate the higher mind. Like a little brain massage. and swooping down to the heart and carrying that discernment, that truth, that knowing what is best for us. Bringing it up and down. Okay. All right. I'm going to use a little Douglas fir hydrosol. I believe this is for your face, but I use it for like magic. Correspondence. This is from Deschampsia, Wildcrafts and Distillations. And I love that this works with such a protective energy, just really holding the field for us. To the north, south, east, and west. Oh my god, it smells really good. And then I have a little rosemary, which is great for what we're working with, that clarity. Okay, so I'm gonna anoint you energetically. Okay, so I have some, you can see. I'm gonna do the brow and just like tap down your body, okay? And what I'm focusing on again is this etheric form. Just tapping, tap, 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 tap. And back up. Tap, 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 tap. Down. Tap, 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 tap. Do, do, do. Tap, 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 tap. Just gonna kind of like smush it a little. And pinch. I'm gonna pinch you because I'm a crab. And just brush it down. Create a little circuit, like feels really good from my perspective. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to move to channeling at this point. Again, all of this is part of a session. In sessions, I often bring in oils and other stuff, bowls and drum or whatever. It's all part of it, guys. So I'm going to focus now to channeling. Again, clarifying my intention, of course, in perfect love and comfort, whatever is right for you, whatever you need, whatever is the precise level of what would be best. For only that to reach you, and maybe like a little bit extra so you feel it or you notice it. To balance, harmonize, awaken, empower your inner voice, your intuition, and your logical discernment to use what you find within and use what you find without and bring them together and move in ways that are most effectively in line with your path, purpose, or desire. How do you like that? Alright. So I'm going to focus mostly here, continuingly again, okay? Focus on the throat, the heart, the throat again, the third eye, connect. Calling this energy down over you to wash down through all of your chakras, to ground this potential, this awareness, this insight. To bring in your actions, how you walk the walk, your emotional guidance. Your support, being supported by the earth plane, by your physical path and resources. Focus again on the mind, the lower mind, higher mind, left, right, however you want to look at it. Create balance. Okay. Wonderful. Hold the field of truth like a sword or a dagger or some kind of double-sided, double-terminated point of truth to let you know if you're leaning one way or the other too far, and bring it back into Great. Let's fluff up your aura, guys. Alright, wonderful. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little session, so whatever you want to use it for. I send you so much love and appreciation. Thank you so much for those of you joining me on Patreon, first of all, to help with the production of these more public videos, but for also lending yourself in some way to the community that we have going on over there. I appreciate it so much. I am excuse me, really wanting to create more for the community there. And what I mean by that is the community accents is like $1, so it's like the lowest I can make it. And there we can talk about the Reiki circle. We can manifest with each other, and I'm creating little mini little casual videos for the meantime for the new moon. And then in the $5 tier, I'm sorry to be salesy with you, just to explain, the $5 tier has that plus like a zodiac season inspired video, as well as any download that you would like from the Innate project. So sorry. And then the $10 tier, which is the highest one, is more of a teaching style video once a month as well. So just to share with that. And then of course I mentioned my t-shirts. And I do teach Reiki, of course, and I'm not doing distance sessions right now. I am doing in-person sessions. I'm just trying to consolidate my time as best as I can. So that's my story. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you for letting me be a little piece of your path this evening or today. Again, so much love for you from the bottom of my heart, as always. Namaste.